Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss the topics concurrent forces and equilibrium of a particle, Leibniz theorem, numericals of chapter 5, class 11th physics. First of all, concurrent forces. The forces are said to be concurrent if their lines of action intersect at a common point. In this picture, there are 5 forces F1, F2, F3, F4 and F5. All these forces are meeting at point O. So then these forces are called concurrent forces. In this another picture, there are 4 forces F1, F2, F3 and F4. All these 4 forces are meeting at common point, and that point is called point of concurrency. And these forces are concurrent forces. Equilibrium of a particle. Equilibrium of a particle refers to the situation when net external force as well as net external torque on the particle is zero. Body is in translational equilibrium if net external force on the body is zero. According to first law, this means that particle is either at rest or in uniform motion because net external force on the body is zero. We know that if we want to change the state of the body, we have to apply external force. And when external force on the body is zero, then particle will remain in the same situation. If it is at rest, it will remain at rest, and if it is in motion, then it will remain in that uniform motion if external force on the body is zero. Similarly, body is in rotational equilibrium if net external torque on the body is zero. What is torque? We will discuss it later on in the next chapters. So we know that to keep a body in equilibrium, net external force on the body should be zero and net external torque on the body should be zero to keep a body in equilibrium. Next, equilibrium under two concurrent forces. If two forces F1 and F2 are applied on a particle or any body, if two forces F1 and F2 act on a particle as shown in figure, in this picture there are two forces F1 and F2. Two forces are in equilibrium if F1 is equal to minus F2. It means both forces should be equal and opposite. Equilibrium under three concurrent forces F1, F2 and F3. Three concurrent forces F1, F2, F3 are in equilibrium if vector sum of the three forces is zero. So we can write F1 plus F2 plus F3 is equal to 0. In this picture, it is clear that the resultant of F1 and F2 should be equal and opposite to F3 so that all the system is in equilibrium. It means that the resultant of any two forces, say F1 and F2, must be equal and opposite to the third force F3. We can take the resultant of any two forces, and resultant of that any two forces must be equal and opposite to the third one. As shown in figure, three forces in equilibrium can be represented by the sides of a triangle with the vector arrows taken in the same sense. Okay, as in the second picture, these three forces represent the three sides of the triangle taken in same order, then their resultant will be equal to 0. This result can be generalized to any number of forces. The equation F1 plus F2 plus F3 is equal to 0 implies that F1x plus F2x plus F3x is equal to 0. It means components of all these three forces along the x-axis must be equal to 0. Similarly, components of all these three forces along y-axis should be equal to 0, and components of all these three forces along z-axis should be equal to 0. Further, where we can say F1x, F1y and F1z are the components of F1 along x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Similarly, we can say for F2x, F2y and F2z and F3x, F3y and F3z. A particle is in equilibrium under the action of forces F1, F2, F3, so on Fn if they can be represented by the sides of a closed n-sided polygon with arrows directed in the same sense. So we can say to keep any body or any particle in equilibrium, the net resultant of all the forces should be equal to 0. So we can represent that with the help of polygon having same number of sides and all the forces should be in the same direction, in the same sense. Next, Lami's theorem. If three concurrent forces acting on a body keep the body in equilibrium, then each force is proportional to sine of angle between other two forces. The constant of proportionality is same for all three forces. The three forces must be coplanar. Like in this picture, we can see there are three forces represented by A vector, B vector and C vector. So angle opposite to A vector is alpha, that is in between vector B and vector C. Similarly, angle opposite to B vector is beta, that is angle between A vector and C vector. Similarly, the angle opposite to C vector is gamma, that is in between A vector and B vector. According to Lami's theorem, any force is directly proportional to sine of angle between other two forces. And here constant of proportionality is same for all forces. So we can write A upon sine alpha is equal to B upon sine beta is equal to C upon sine gamma. And all these three forces must be coplanar. This is called Lami's theorem. This is the example. A mass of 6 kg is suspended by a rope of length 2 meter from the ceiling. A force of 50 Newton in the horizontal direction is applied at the midpoint P of the rope as shown in figure. This is the figure. See carefully. There is a rope of length 2 meter and at midpoint P a force of 50 Newton is applied in horizontal direction which displaces the string towards right and making angle theta with the vertical. So here we have to find is what is the angle of rope makes with the vertical in equilibrium. When this condition is in equilibrium, then what is the angle theta? So we can say as here mass of 6 kg is suspended. So in figure we can see that as mass is 6 kg, so weight will be, as we know that W is equal to mg. So here weight will be 60 Newton because G is taken 10 meter per second square. So weight is vertically downwards, that is 60 Newton opposite to tension T2. Okay, here we will, this is the same picture. T1 is resolved into two components. Firstly, we will mention the tensions in the string as force 50 Newton is applied at point P. So tensions will be away from the point. So T1 will be in upward direction and T2 is in the downward direction. We have assumed this thing. Okay. Here T1 is resolved into two components. T1 cos theta opposite to T2. See diagram carefully. T1 will be resolved into two components. T1 cos theta opposite to T2 and T1 sin theta opposite to 50 Newton force. These components will be at point P. So in equilibrium, T1 sin theta, as in equilibrium this system is moving nowhere. So T1 sin theta is towards left and 50 Newton is towards right. So both the forces will balance each other. So T1 sin theta is equal to 50 Newton. Similarly, T1 cos theta is upwards and T2 that is downwards. As system is in equilibrium, so T1 cos theta is equal to T2, and from the picture B we can say T2 is in upward direction and 60 Newton is in the downward direction. In equilibrium, T2 is equal to 60 Newton. So we can write T1 cos theta is equal to T2 is equal to 60 Newton. Divide these two equations, we will get sin theta upon cos theta, that is equal to tangent theta, and 50 upon 60, that will be written as 5 upon 6. So we can write theta is equal to tan inverse 5 upon 6. Okay, this is the assignment for you. So please go through these questions and try to solve all these in your notebooks. Thank you. Have a nice day. For more lectures, you can subscribe the channel and you can see the next videos. Thank you.